Hello, everybody. My name is Anrong Dang from Department of Urban Planning, School of Architecture, Tsinghua University, Beijing, China. It's my great honor and pleasure to participate the International Conference on Cultural Heritage, Algeria. Today, I'd like to share a presentation which is titled Digital Twins Enabling Cultural Heritage Conservation and Inheriting. So I organized my presentation in three parts. The first one is demands of cultural heritage conservation and inheriting. The second part is how digital twins enabling cultural heritage conservation and inheriting. The third one is that the development trends of cultural heritage conservation and inheriting. Let's start at the first part. As you know that China has lots of cultural heritage sites. Actually, the most important part is the UNESCO World Heritages. So far, we have 59 sites, which is composed of 15 natural heritages, 40 cultural heritages, and 4 mixed heritages. Among all of those 59 sites, 44 related to the cultural heritages, which is 35 cultural heritages, 5 landscape cultural heritages, and 4 mixed. There's a map on these slides which is show the heritages located everywhere in China. For those kinds of heritages, conservation and inheriting, we should do 3 kinds of works, which means that there are 3 kinds of demands. The first one is the investigation and cognitions. During this period, we need to value the recognition, spatial temporal relationships, analyzing, and also digitizing and modeling the cultural heritages. And based on those modeling, we need to do some analysis and evaluations. The second demand is that the conservation and management. As you know that the cultural heritage is very important for the human beings all over the world. In China, we need to do the conservation and management, which means that we need to do the classification analysis and evaluation, the gradient analysis and evaluation, as well as the regional analysis and evaluation, and based on that, to do the conservation and monitoring. And the third demands for the cultural heritage conservation and inheriting is the utilization and inheritance, which means that not only for the conservation, but also we need to try our best to do the utilizations and inheritance, which means that we need to work out the platforms to the some kind of planning and the designing and to do the to determine when, where, who, and how to do the utilization, and as well as the when, where, who, and how to do the inheritance. So based on those kind of analysis of demands, we try our best to integrate all kinds of technology to do the cultural heritage digital twins. which means of the digital twins for the cultural heritages. Actually, we need to understand the physical space of the cultural heritages and transform all the physical space of the cultural heritages to the cyberspace, and to let those two kinds of space interactively. First of all, we need to understand the physical space of the cultural heritages. In this part, we need to pay attention to both the tangible and the intangible cultural heritages. We try our best to understand the all-ground and underground cultural heritages, as well as for the indoor and outdoor heritages, and two-dimensional and three-dimensionals of cultural heritages, as well as for the static and dynamic development or changing. All of those aspects related to the physical space of the cultural heritages. Based on that, we need to transfer the physical space of the cultural heritage into the cyberspace. In the cyberspace, we need to pay more attention to how to do the information acquisition, the information management, the information processing, the information services, and also the information sharing. For these kinds of description, we think about the digital twins of the cultural heritage and interactively for the physical space and the cyberspace. But furthermore, we also need to think about the cognitive space, which means that we need to try our best to understand scientifically of the physical space of cultural heritages, which means that we need to think about the full space and the integrity of the heritages, and also all of the elements schematically of the heritages. And for professionals of the collaborations and field process, which means the dynamic changing of the cultural heritages. Based on those kind of cognitive, we also need to understand the cyberspace scientifically. For this part, we need to think about all those information in the cyberspace, the characteristics of them. Some of them actually have the causal relationships, which means it's a white box. But some others are related relationships, and also some kinds are collaboration related. For those kind of information, we need to the green box. And most important one is the complex correlations, which means it's black box. So we need to use the different kinds of models, methods, and technologies, say for example, artificial intelligence, to do some analysis for the cyberspace cultural heritages. That's what we understand the digital twins of the cultural heritages. Just to take a case, how to do the cultural heritage digital twins, which means we need to integrate all kinds of information technology, say for example, the mobile communication technology, the Internet of Things, the information technology, the cloud computing, as well as the artificial intelligence. All of those information technologies for the digital twins of the cultural heritage, it means that we need to do the dynamic data acquisition, the real-time data transmission, the cloud-based data processing, the virtual expression of data, as well as for the quantitative decision support. Because of those kinds of technologies, we also need to think about the big data, which is actually the spatial and temporal big data. Say, for example, the mobile communication data, all kinds of internet data, smart card swiping data, service industry data, social media data, and also the IoT sensor data, Earth observation data, and navigation positioning data. All of those data actually are as the spatial temporal big data, where we can find or to acquire those kind of big data. In China, we have the National Platform of Common Spatial Information Services. All those platforms actually is so-called the Map World. It's a National Geographic Information Public Service platform covering all counties and the cities in 31 provinces, municipals, and autonomous regions across the country. By using the Map World, we can acquire detailed addresses, search for nearby information, and conveniently enjoy integrating services of maps, images, and various thematic information. Use these kind of ideas, theories, and also their technologies. We doing the digital twins of the Great Wall cultural heritage. Say, for example, on the map, we can see the line ruined of the cultural heritages, and which is just part of the whole Great Wall. Actually, it's located in my hometown, Yulin. Those part of the Great Wall in Yulin are over 300 kilometers. And along those Great Walls, there were 39 different kinds of campus or fortresses. And some of the fortresses are the national historical cities in current days. We just select one of these kind of fortresses, which is named Jian'anbao. It's one of those 36 original old city, and it was built in 1440, and later in 1907, it was constructed with bricks and stones for the city wall. And the city wall have a very good quality now, but still we need to do some kind of conservation and inheritance. So we use the UAV remote sensing way to acquire the different kinds of the images. And based on those kind of images, we can construct or develop the model, the digital model of these fortresses. And based on the digital model, we can do many kinds of analysis. Say, for example, we can do the elevation analysis and try to find which part is good and which part was have to facing some kind of edges. and to do the conservation. And based on those kind of digital twin models of the current situation of the fortress, we can do furthermore conservation and inheritance analysis and the digital works. Say, for example, we can do the virtual restorations of the Jianbao fortress based on the digital twin models. As you can see in the picture on the right, we did the restorations of the Huiyu city wall, as well as for the towers, the buildings, and also the streets and all the spatial patterns of old fortress. As well as, we can use the digital twin model to do the immersive cinema. To construct the immersive cinema, when you come into the cinema, we can, watching the Huiyu fortress for its old period situation, the current situation, and also the reconstruction situations. So these kinds of immersive cinema actually based on the digital twin model of the Jianbao fortress, as well as integrity, the virtual reality, and AR together to do this kind of exhibition, which means that most of the people, if they have opportunity to come into this kind of cinema, they can get the ideas of the fortress and also to participating into how to conservation and how to do the inheritance. It's very important for the ordinary people. That's for the digital twin enabling the conservation. And for the future development, actually it depends on the technology developments and also the demands of the cultural heritage conservation. If we combine those two together, which means we pay attention to the new development of the technology, as well as for the new demands of the conservation and inheritance, and we can integrate all those together and try our best to do the enabling of the conservation and inheritance, which means that the value recognition, the status diagnosis, planning and designing, scenario detection, and also impact assessment. All of those enabling research works based on some kind of the rules. Say, for example, the aesthetic and the integrity, and also the scientific of cultural heritages. So that's all my presentation, and hope it can be shared with you. And welcome to China.